news.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Zain Jamo, and you're watching the main news. And of course, it's a lovely evening to you, Jace.
Well, a lovely evening to Zain, and a warm welcome to our viewers. Thank you once again for joining us on the main news. I'm Joyce Mabika. Piswe Jomunika is on sign language.
And later on, Arthur Evans will be joining us from our Montreux studios. But these are our headlines.
A government strengthens measures to boost availability of locally produced medicines. And the courts of Blufffield Pitbull dog's owner remanded in custody on culpable homicide charges. In our look at the arts, a local actress gets an award for being the best actress at a festival in Brazil.
In sport, the Warriors compete on two different fronts at the same time this Wednesday.
We now give you the news in detail. Sadc chairperson, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, has urged legislators from the region to reject a Eurocentric approach in their efforts to create a regional legislative body.
Officially opening the 57th session of the Sadc Parliamentary Forum in Victoria Falls this Monday, Comrade Mnangagwa reminded the legislators to safeguard the region's unique history of the struggle against foreign domination. Our chief correspondent, Ruben Barwe, filed the following report.
The birth of the Organization of African Unity, or AU, in 1963 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, saw the transformation of that organization into the African Union 39 years later in Durban, South Africa. The birth of the Southern Africa Development Coordination Conference, SADC with a double C, in 1980 in Lusaka, Zambia, saw it transform into the Southern Africa Development Community in Windhoek, Namibia. In 1992, the same route is being followed or being taken to transform the SADC Parliamentary Forum into an actual legislative body of the regional grouping SADC. The SADC chairman, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, said, "The leaders are willing to support this agenda.
We are assured that there is political will from the level of my fellow heads of state and government in SADC to support endeavors of this SADC Parliamentary Forum. This includes the institutionalization of parliamentary involvement in the regional integration, democratic consolidation, and sustainable development across our region. Going forward, let us all play our part to strengthen democratic oversight and accountability, regional integration, and shared prosperity for our region. The ultimate beneficiaries of all our efforts must be the people who should experience a higher quality of life.
The fourth industrial revolution is beckoning, ready to transform the world, and African SADC countries should not be left behind," said the head of state.
It is in this respect that the SADC heads of state and government, within the framework of the SADC Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan 2020 to 2030, are prioritizing the development of appropriate skills related to information communication technologies. Equally key is the need to enhance the accessibility to new technologies as well as promote investment in research and development to boost Afrocentric innovation and digital solutions. Cross-border technology sharing and investments must also be encouraged towards strengthening interconnectivity and the lowering of tariffs for the benefit of all our people. Our policies with regards to ICT enablers and a new technological uptake should leave no one and no place behind.
On a parting note, the President and Sadc Chairman, Comrade Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, said, "The representative of our people should not mimic other foreigners by cutting and pasting foreign models. Do us proud by putting our models that reflect the unique nature and the priorities and perspective of this region and Africa in general, using Afrocentric approach." Ruben Barwa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
The government is strengthening measures to boost the availability of locally produced medicines through a pharmaceutical value chain roadmap outlined in the Zimbabwe Industrial Reconstruction and Growth Plan 2024 to 2025.
Government's focus huge strides in capacity utilization for the production of medicines locally to reduce the country's import bill by at least $100 million United States dollars by end of this year. The measures announced at a post-cabinet media briefing in Harare this Tuesday also include the establishment of a pharmaceutical revolving fund to support the sector.
A pharmaceutical revolving fund will be established to provide affordable financing for the industry. Furthermore, the VAT zero rating on pharmaceutical products will be reinstated and the reliance on drug imports will be reduced by establishing local drug testing capabilities. The sugar tax will also be prioritized to enhance financial support for the manufacturing of essential drugs.
Strategic policies implemented within the last 5 years have significantly improved the industry.
The strategic objective of the value chain is to increase the proportion of locally produced essential medicines from 30% to 60% by 2025 and reduce the national medicines input bill from approximately 220 million United States dollars in 2020 to around 100 million United States dollars by the end of 2025.
Government has also announced it has approved the principles of the Road Accident Fund Bill.
The Road Accident Fund Bill seeks to address the current post-accident management framework with the existing insurance packages which have some shortcomings in terms of immediate evacuation of accident survivors to medical facilities. Emergency services providers are reluctant to provide medical services in instances when payment for service is not guaranteed. The current liability cover is inadequate to cover medical and funeral expenses.
This development is a major milestone towards the much-awaited Road Accident Fund.
It's long awaited, and we're also excited so that it's also going to alleviate and lessen the burden, especially when it comes to accidents. And I'm sure since we've just started, we'll also make sure that we run with speed in terms of making sure we comply to the legislative framework thereof.
Government also announced plans to revitalize community share ownership trusts.
To revitalize the community share ownership trust program, the government of Zimbabwe will undertake a comprehensive review of the implementation framework and provide corporate rescue support to struggling trusts. A robust economic empowerment policy and regulations will be developed to ensure effective and transparent management of community share ownership trusts.
Community share ownership trusts were established to ensure local communities benefit from the extraction and exploitation of natural resources within their areas. Theophilus Chuma, ZBC News, Harare.
Cross over to the Trabables traffic interchange, where our business reporter Owen Mandova is on standby to give us a full report on traffic flow at the multi-million-dollar project.
Good evening and welcome. Obviously, this Trabables interchange has created a lot of interest amongst many stakeholders in the country, be it citizens, motorists, transporters, and the like. I've just witnessed a seamless flow of traffic into and out of this interchange, which was commissioned by President Emmerson Mnangagwa on Friday. But I just want to hear from one of the key stakeholders in the transport business. I'm joined by the president of the Sadc commuter omnibuses, Mr. Frederick Magura Minga, to tell us his experience regarding the flow of traffic on this Trabablas interchange. Good evening, Mr. Magura Minga. You have been into the transport business for quite some time, and this point is a very focal point in terms of the flow of traffic. Just tell us your impression about the construction of this interchange.
Definitely, as an association or as the transport sector, this is an exciting development. This is an exciting news to us. Remember, we have got bad memories of this place where we could spend 3 hours, where we could spend 4 hours to get to town, to get to Machipisa. It was difficult for us. We lost business as a result of that. There was delay. It means there was also high consumption of fuel and also few trips. But as I speak right now, things have improved. In a short period, we have seen smooth movement of transport. And also, it is not just about our business. People were getting to work so late, which means the economy was actually being slowed down. Here we are also talking about accidents which were happening around this area. As I speak right now, it's smooth, which means we've got so many kind of accidents which have been actually prevented as a result of this attraction. And the other thing is that it was difficult for an ambulance to pass through. It was difficult for the fire brigade to pass through. And also furthermore, this attraction is not just an attraction to Zimbabwe, but as well as Sadc in terms of trade facilitation. In terms of investment, this interchange is going to attract, because Zimbabwe is a landlocked country, which means more trucks, they pass through Zimbabwe. I can see more trucks coming through Zimbabwe because of this infrastructure. I hope and believe that the revenue that we had lost as a result of the congestion that was around this place, we are going to see more revenue coming into our economy, because there is going to be an improvement. Why? The transport sector moves the economy. So having this interchange means the economy is also going to be actually upgraded.
Thanks, Frederick. Those were the sentiments from Frederick, who is the president of one of the commuter omnibuses organizations. Things can only get better under the Second Republic. But as I was coming towards this Trabablas interchange along Simon Mazoro's road, there was a lot of congestion. But obviously, as you heard from the Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development, in his speech on Friday, he promised that they are going to build more interchanges along this route to ensure that there is seamless flow of traffic in and out of the capital city of Harare. Back to the studio.
Well, many thanks there to Owen Mandova, our man on the ground at the Trabablas traffic interchange. Thank you very much for that detailed report. Now, Sadc member states are intensifying efforts to remove trade barriers within the regional bloc, a move cited as critical in deepening regional economic integration and boosting intra-Sadc trade. That report from John Nandara.
The urgence of addressing trade impediments in a volatile global economic environment and harmonization of trade tariffs within the Sadc bloc were high on the agenda this Tuesday during the meeting of senior officials for Committee of Trade and Task Force on Regional Economic Integration underway in Mount Habden.
We are really looking at the progress that we have made. And as said before, we really need to make more progress to have, in terms of the tariff, non-tariff barriers among us, but also one of the objective of Sadc is to industrialize. Industrialization will lead us to development. And me, as a Deputy Executive Secretary of Sadc in charge of regional integration, and integration issues are really close to my heart. And on this, we are really looking at every sectors that we can improve. And we had the issue on tariff, but we also have issues to harmonize the tariffs. There are discussions among member states, and but also there are some disagreement about member states.
The meeting also sought to strengthen institutional architecture that underpins implementation of Sadc regional programs. Deliberations also centered on the review of the Regional Indicative Strategy Development Plan, a technical document that outlines key strategic priorities and provides a structured roadmap to achieve more integration and improve economic performance within Sadc. John Nandara, ZBC News, Mount Abden.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe says it has managed to contain inflation to its targets as measured by month-on-month inflation statistics, pledging to ensure the current price stability is maintained. Let's take a look.
Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Governor Dr. John Mushawan said high annual inflation figures are inconsequential, describing them as lived inflation, while promising the nation that the current stable pricing environment will be maintained in the long term, as indicated by the consistently low month-on-month inflation figures.
The inflation you saw, which was just above 90% for year-on-year for May 2025, is inflation that we have already lived. It's inflation that we have already experienced. Now, when we set the bank policy rate, we are looking at projected inflation. And we are projecting to end this year at an inflation rate not more than 30%. We have always told the market that when the first year-on-year inflation figures were going to be released, which is for May 2025, they would come up at a high figure because of what we call the base effect.
Dr. Mushawan added that the ZiG is now strongly backed by bulging reserves at the central bank.
When we launched ZiG in April, we had $285 million US in reserves. Now we are just under 700 million. In terms of gold, we have now exceeded the 3-ton mark with over 3 tons of gold in the vaults. So what that means is that if we continue on the same trajectory, you can extrapolate yourself and see where the reserves are going to be by the time we get to the end of this year. And you also recall that His Excellency directed that royalties that miners are paying for gold, for platinum, for lithium, for diamonds are directed to the central bank so that we build on these reserves. So the more our mining companies continue to perform, the more royalties we are going to get, and obviously we'll be using that to build up reserves. It is our wish as the central bank that by the time we get to monocurrency, we should have in our reserves more than 3 months import cover.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe's tight monetary policy and back to basic thrust is yielding positive results as market confidence continues to be bolstered, while the exchange rate management framework has also been fine-tuned to meet market demands. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe has assumed the presidency of the 113th session of the International Labour Conference, the main decision-making body of the International Labour Organization, ILO. The conference opened in Geneva, Switzerland this Monday and will run until the 13th of this month. Let's get more details.
The annual gathering of the International Labour Conference opened in Geneva, Switzerland this Monday for the 113th session, bringing together representatives from governments, workers and employers from over 180 International Labour Organization, ILO member states. For the next fortnight, delegates will discuss and set international labour standards and policies. This year, Zimbabwe will direct the conversation at the 113th session of the International Labour Conference after assuming the presidency of the main decision-making body of the International Labour Organization.
Zimbabwe is honored to assume the presidency of the conference, and I wish to assure you of my commitment and dedication to ensuring that the conference will achieve all its objectives. We embark on this 2-week journey of the work of the conference amid various developments in the world of work, many of which include opportunities for us to leverage on and challenges that we have to collectively address.
Sound policies and reforms within the labour market instituted by government over the last 5 years have been pivotal to position Zimbabwe on the global map. Addressing delegates in the opening session of the program, Minister Moyo noted the need for delegates to enhance focus on protection of workers' rights and sustainable enterprises. Other key issues on the agenda of this year's session include protection against biological hazards at work, innovative approaches to tackling informality and promoting formal work, among other discussions. Theophilus Chuma, ZBC News.
A Harare man, Mike Mapinga, has appeared in court facing charges of culpable homicide after his dogs fatally mauled a passerby in Bluffhill on Saturday. Let's take a look at the following report.
During the court hearing this Tuesday, the state indicated that written submissions by Mapinga's legal representative would be filed by the end of the day, with his lawyer expected to respond on Thursday. The case was rolled over to Friday after his lawyer requested time to gather relevant documents. According to the state, Mapinga left his 4 dogs, 3 of them pit bulls and a Rottweiler, unattended when he went to bed. The dogs allegedly scaled short perimeter wall and attacked Samuel Machara, who was walking nearby. Machara sustained severe injuries, including deep wounds on the neck, legs and stomach, and later succumbed to the injuries. One of the pit bulls, identified by witnesses and the accused, was found with the blood stains on its body. All the dogs were taken by the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. As the court unfolds, it never rains for Mapinga as he appeared in a separate matter before another regional magistrate, Sandra Mpindu, for a default inquiry related to rape charges. On rape charges, Mapinga will be back in court this Wednesday, while his culpable homicide case will be heard on Friday. Mapinga remains in custody as the court proceedings continue. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Oh, a very sad incident there. Now, in a related development, the devastating dog attack, which claimed the life of a 39-year-old man in Harare at the weekend, has ignited discussion around dog breeding in general and safety around some aggressive breeds.
With people in the capital still in shock after the killing of 39-year-old Samuel Machara by dogs in Bluffhill on Saturday, questions have been asked around dog breeding in the country.
Our position as the SPCA, what we can say is we have got some breeds that they are dangerous breeds, which need owners and knowledge of how to look after those animals. The breeds that needs a lot of socialization, and breeds like pit bulls in the event that they become aggressive. If they bite someone, like incident there. And we've got a lot of illegal backyard breeders who breed at locations, medium density suburbs. They are keeping those dogs in small cages where they are breeding, and that triggers their temperament, and they end up being aggressive because they are not socialized, they are not exercised.
Lack of adherence to breeding standards has been blamed for the aggressive behavior by some dog breeds.
If you get a CUSA registered dog from South Africa, normally it's gone through all the regimented and all the parents, and its whole breed has been registered throughout and they've been checked. So if you are going to get into this, I would suggest don't go to a backyard breeder. Make sure that you look for pedigree, make sure that you look for history, and make sure that you look for temperament.
The Zimbabwe National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, ZNSPCA, Senior Inspector Chikadaya, further clarified municipal regulations governing pet ownership.
According to the municipal bylaws, you're allowed to have a maximum of 2 dogs at a property measured to 2,000 square meters, and any property which is more than 2,000 square meters has a maximum of 4 dogs.
Several countries have banned the breeding of certain dogs, such as pit bulls, and Zimbabweans have used various media platforms to call for the ban to be effected locally. Recently, Harare Mayor Advocate Jacob Mafume said they had ordered municipal police to shoot all stray dogs in the city. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, the debate continues on dog breeding. Remember to visit our website for these and more stories in detail. It is www.zbcnews.co.zw.
or you can get in touch with us on our social media handles, that is at ZBC News Online, and do further the discussion.
Here are stories still to come in this bulletin.
In sport, the Warriors compete on two different fronts at the same time this Wednesday. The main news takes a breather. We'll be back with you shortly.
A dynamic and enterprising woman running a small business? Whether you're involved in horticulture, fashion design, visual arts, confectionery, the beauty industry, catering and food services, event decor, poultry farming, goat projects, cross-border trading, or small-scale retailing, this is your moment. Join us from the 6th to the 8th of June at Harare Gardens for the inaugural Women's Market Galore. Showcase your business at this groundbreaking event hosted by Empowerment Champion, the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa. Admission is free and you are all invited to come. For registration and inquiries, please contact 0719 527 703 or 0778 858-056. Please note that this program will be extended to all provinces across the country on dates to be announced. Empowering women means empowering the nation. Don't miss this opportunity to shine.
Welcome to a new era in tobacco farm. The Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board, TIMB, has rolled out the biometric grower management system to protect every genuine tobacco grower. With this innovative technology, only you can verify your identity for account adjustments, input collection, stop orders, and insurance. You also get support and payments without delays. Biometrics offer you security, efficiency, and transparency. Why wait? Visit the nearest TIMB office now with your national ID. We will capture your fingerprints and link them to your grower number. You can also register at tobacco selling points as you sell your tobacco. It's fast and it's easy. We guarantee that your biometric data is protected and will only be used to improve the tobacco industry database and processes. Our offices are in Harare, Butare, Lusape, Murundera, Bendera, Karen, Mvurwi, and Chimbui. Visit the office nearest to you, get your fingerprints captured, and secure a thriving future for the tobacco industry. Register your fingerprints. Secure your future. Grow with confidence.
The winter wheat planting window has been extended to the 15th of June 2025, giving farmers additional time to complete their planting activities. However, farmers are strongly encouraged to expedite their planting to take full advantage of the remaining time and ensure optimal crop establishment. Given the late planting, it's essential to adjust the seed rate upwards, potentially 260 kgs per hectare, to compensate for the anticipated reduction in tillers. At this stage, opting for early maturity wheat varieties is highly recommended, as these can mature before the onset of the rainy season. To start with a vigorous growth, basal fertilizer application is crucial at planting time, with a recommendation rate of 500 kgs per hectare of compound D or 350 kgs per hectare of Zero Blend. Immediately after planting, irrigating the fields to field capacity will help facilitate easy germination. Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development. Food security everywhere, every day.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. The Seed Association of Zimbabwe has embarked on a drive to establish a sustainable traditional grains seed bank in line with the government policy to promote crop diversification and minimize seed imports in the face of climate change.
Traditional grains are fast gaining popularity as a nutritious and climate change resilient alternative for the staple maize. This Tuesday, 26 seed producers affiliated to the Zimbabwe Seed Association converged in Harare, where recommendations to create a sustainable traditional grain seed bank were made.
We are putting effort together with government to make sure that there is enough seed over the next 3 years. We are actually hoping that there won't be any imports of small grains, because we as an industry have put a lot of effort to get the country to have enough seed.
Under the PIP, Presidential Input Program, let's see a deliberate extension of funding to traditional grains in those 45 to 50 districts which are now dependent. They don't do maize.
Our government, through the Seed Service Institution, has expressed its preparedness to provide technical support to ensure production of traditional grains seed comes to fruition.
We continue to encourage them to expand their production for traditional grain seed, which at the moment is not really sufficient. So we continue to provide the necessary quality assurance.
Deeply rooted in the country's culture, increased production of sorghum, finger millet, cowpeas, rapoko and other traditional grains has been cited as key in ensuring reliable sources of food and nutritional security. Tendai Munengwa, ZBC News, Harare.
We now connect you to the city of Kings and Queens, where Arthur's on standby to give us more updates on what is happening. It's a lovely evening to you, and you can take it away.
Thank you so much, Zane. The government is finalizing Zimbabwe's third national biodiversity strategy and action plan, set to run from 2025 to 2030.
The two-day NBSAP validation workshop brings together stakeholders to finalize the draft document, incorporating feedback to ensure it meets the country's biodiversity conservation needs. Various stakeholders, including government officials and community members, highlighted the importance of the action plan in preserving biodiversity.
Our life directly and indirectly depends on biological diversity. The ecosystems around us, your trees, your wildlife, your flora and fauna, your water resources, the air you breathe, the soil, the biological life forms around us are all important for the air that you breathe, the water that you drink. Your own sanity depends on the health of our ecosystems. So it is critical that as a country we manage biological diversity in a way that ensures that we meet the demands of our current generation, as well as ensuring that the future generations also have something to enjoy.
It's very important that communities, representative of indigenous peoples and local communities, participate in this, so that their interests and needs are also captured in this strategy document.
To expect everybody in Zimbabwe, as Zimbabweans, to work together. It's not the responsibility of government alone, it's a responsibility of everyone. Basically, there is a talk now for all of government, whole society approach. This person in the village has got the responsibility. The person in the urban areas has got the responsibility. Because what we do here in the urban areas like Bulawayo ultimately affects what's happening even in remote areas in terms of how they preserve or conserve biodiversity.
Preservation of biodiversity and ecosystems is among key government targets meant to usher the nation into an upper middle income society by 2030.
Men and women across the country are standing up for a drug-free Zimbabwe, and the Fitness Social Club has taken the fight against drug and substance abuse to the streets, traveling from one city to another, urging youths to engage in various sporting disciplines as a way of dealing with the menace.
The Fitness Social Club is leaving nothing to chance in a bid to deal with the drug and substance abuse, which is threatening generations, as it is moving with a team of fitness trainers and counselors to help youths understand the dangers of partaking in drugs. The team, which has since covered Harare and Mutare, is this week camped in Gweru, where it is moving from one suburb to the other and providing the much needed training and counseling on drug and substance abuse.
This is a movement that we've put together, that we are driving into communities, trying to combat the epidemic of drugs and keeping people away from boredom, taking drugs, becoming a problem to society, but also the people that are suffering from drugs, as well as families that are dealing with drug addiction, suffering from trauma and the stress behind it. We're offering a platform of where you can get help and how to get help.
The issue of proper counseling and engaging in sporting disciplines is critical if people are to shake off addiction associated with bad habits.
People take drugs to get the feeling of high, an ecstasy high, which you can get from doing sports. Although the difference is doing sports, it's a positive high and there's no negative effects, and you also get extra benefits of health and stuff like that. Whereas compared to doing drugs, it damages you internally and mentally as well, and it can also affect your social life.
When you're doing sports, it's another way of replacing whatever you're going through, all the stresses and the frustrations. You can put it into sport, you can convert it into, put all that energy in sports and in the gym, and it takes it all out. When you sweat it out, you've got a good day, you've got a better way of thinking, and your mind is better.
Efforts by the Social Fitness Club are highly commendable as they fit into the country's multi-sectoral drug and substance abuse plan 2024 to 2030, which was approved by Cabinet last year with a view to deal with the vice which is threatening future generations. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Gweru.
I think drugs were definitely dealt a knockout blow in the Midlands province. In other news, the Health and Service Commission has reiterated government's commitment towards improving the country's health delivery system to meet world-class standards, with a raft of measures being taken to ensure that targets are met.
The transformation of the Health Service Board into the Health Service Commission has ushered a new era of engagement instituted last year, with the Commission currently meeting health personnel in Manicaland Province. Speaking at the Victoria Chitepo Provincial Hospital, Chairperson of the Health Service Commission, Dr. Vincent Wongwe, outlined the roadmap to improve the country's health delivery system.
We look forward, and I'm told the job evaluation exercise results are now are going to be shared with the Commission pretty soon. In any event, no later than the end of next week, right? Now, we should be able to have a grading system that is very clear, a grading system that also forms the basis for rewarding persons, right, depending on the grade of their post. The vision of this commission is really one of a world-class health service delivery system. A world-class health service delivery system which is not accessible, but is not affordable, cannot claim to be world-class. If the system is not technologically responsive, right, it cannot claim to be world-class.
Junior and senior health personnel in the province are optimistic of improved conditions of service and health delivery in general, following assurances by the Health Service Commission.
I'm sure even the health workers, as we stand, we are going to be better off and we are going to be motivated.
They wish to double the number of health workers. That would be very much appreciated.
We appreciate this regrading process as it is happening, and we look forward to it because it will motivate our staff.
The chair has articulated very well that the currently process of job evaluation is coming to its conclusion, and he has assured us that by end of June that work will be done, and beginning July the implementation takes place.
The Commission has also underscored the resolve to improve health coverage from 55 to 80% by 2030 and promote effective utilization of available resources to improve health delivery. Kenya Sifuje, ZBC News, Mutare.
The Zimbabwean National Army will be conducting a field training exercise in Harare from this Tuesday until this Friday. In a statement, the Director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Hlengiwe Dube, confirmed the training exercise will be conducted during daytime in areas which include Glenview, Glenora, Coadzana, Dzivarasekwa, Mount Hampton and Westgate. She urged the public not to panic as the training exercise is part of routine training by the Zimbabwean National Army units. Well, as we stay calm, you're still in good hands as we take you back to Pocket Hill for more news.
Many thanks for the updates. We bring it back to our Pocket Hill studios, where the government is adopting measures to ensure livestock sector growth, with a digitalized talk card being introduced to monitor the volume of the 5.7 million national head. Let's take a look.
The livestock sector has shown great potential to become a $2 billion United States industry, which is quite significant in terms of the local economy. To harness this potential, government recently rolled out a digitalized stock card. Permanent Secretary for Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Professor Obed Jiri, said the development will improve traceability of animals and guide policy decisions.
It is imperative that we do keep a correct record of our livestock in this country. We have ordinarily had a physical stock card that our cattle farmers were keeping. So kadre kudibisa, but now we are digitalizing that card to ensure that now it moves with the times. We are able now to track and analyze at the click of the button. Now with much improved features, mainly separating the type of livestock that we have, including all types of livestock that the farmer has, and also putting these categories which allow us to be able to analyze and be able to make policy decisions from the analysis of the stockers that we have.
According to the 2024 Crops, Livestock and Fisheries Assessment Report, the country has a national herd of 5.7 million cattle, making it imperative to safeguard the sector and keep abreast with changes or developments in real time. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Pindura.
The newly sworn-in commissioners of the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission have vowed to play a crucial role in the fight against graft.
The induction of the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commissioners held in Kadoma this Tuesday follows the appointment and swearing in of additional Sadc commissioners by President Emmerson Mnangagwa in April this year.
Giving warning to all those who are operating outside the law that we are coming for you. And we are going to use all means necessary to make sure that we clean up the environment.
If we put our heads together, then we can fight this scourge of corruption. It's not a one-man band.
We are being taught on how, as a commission, we're supposed to be accountable, transparency, and also to ensure that we start internally.
Sadc chairperson Mr. Michael Reza implored commissioners to uphold integrity, while Corporate Governance Unit Permanent Secretary Mr. Alan Choruma emphasized the need to abide by the corporate governance standards in the discharge of their mandate.
Commissioners are not employees of Sadc, they are employees of the OPC, so they need to hear the expectations of their employer, what it is that he expects them to do, so that the fight against corruption can be fought effectively.
When we did the 2020 Compliance Assessment Survey report, it showed that our entities were compliant to the level of 60%. And then when we did a similar exercise last year in 2024, our compliance levels had risen to 73%. What this shows is that there's been a general increase in the level of adherence to good corporate governance standards.
Meanwhile, Sadc has begun the process of establishing provincial offices across the country aimed at enhancing efficiency and ensuring corruption cases are dealt with more effectively at local level. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Kadoma.
Environmental stakeholders have called for more efforts towards preservation of wetlands in line with the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands.
Zimbabwe's wetland policy dialogue was held in Harare this Tuesday to assess efforts towards the protection of Ramsar sites and wetlands nationwide ahead of the country's hosting of the Ramsar Convention in Victoria Falls this July.
The policy dialogue we're having today has been organized partly in preparation for the Ramsar Convention. As you know, Zimbabwe will be hosting the Ramsar Convention soon. And so one of the primary objectives is looking to see, are we protecting Ramsar sites adequately in Zimbabwe? And have we domesticated the Ramsar Convention?
We need the people to be participating so that we really are able to fully protect these wetlands and contain climate change, which is become so topical these days.
We're calling for full domestication of the Ramsar Convention through an act of Parliament and amendment of the statutory instruments like SI 7 of 2007, the Environmental Impact Assessment Regulations. We have gazettes mapping the wetlands. Some of the wetlands in Harare, Epworth and Chitungwiza and the rural wetlands, but these gazettes are not providing specific protected status to wetlands, prohibiting, for example, mining, urban development. So we need that extra protection, and that's what we're calling for.
The Zimbabwean government is strengthening wetland protection through policy reforms, domesticating the Ramsar Convention, and amending laws to align with its vision of conserving biodiversity and ecosystems nationwide.
The main news will take a break now. We'll come back with the latest in the arts. Stay with us.
With the fam. Get the KFC Family Fiesta. That's 6 pieces of chicken, 4 zinger wings, 2 mash and gravies, and large chip.
In the month of July 2025, the world will gather at one of nature's greatest wonders, Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. From the 23rd to the 31st of July 2025, Zimbabwe will proudly host the 15th meeting of the Conference of the Contracting Parties to the Convention on Wetlands, COP15. This is more than a conference, it's a call to action, running under the theme, protecting wetlands for our common future. COP15 will unite 173 nations to address pressing issues, wise use of wetlands, biodiversity loss, climate change, and sustainable development. Together, we will explore innovative solutions, strengthen global commitments, and ensure wetlands remain vital for the current generation and those to come. Join us in shaping a sustainable future. COP15, Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe, July 23rd to 31st. Protecting wetlands for our common future starts here. This message was brought to you by the Ministry of Environment, Climate and Wildlife.
Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching the main news. Zimbabwean cinema is celebrating international recognition after actress Charmaine Mujeri recently received the Best Actress Award at the New Visions Film Festival in Brazil for her role in locally produced movie Residue.
Award-winning actress Charmaine Mujeri is flying Zimbabwe's flag high after winning Best Actress at the 11th edition of the New Visions Film Festival in Brazil. She described the recognition as huge and proving Zimbabwean talent is being celebrated globally.
This award is huge for me. I mean, to be recognized, you know, all the way in Brazil, like Zimbabwean talent, a Zimbabwean movie, that's really amazing. It really goes to show like how far Zimbabwean film is going, you know, and especially with young filmmakers, young producers, young directors. I think we're definitely headed in the right direction, and it's about time that, you know, we restamp our authority in film, Southern Africa, and in Africa as a whole.
Executive producer Aneu Gwatidzo confirmed the project achieved this milestone while aligning with the national strategy.
We're really proud to have produced this film, Residue. That's an entirely independent Zimbabwean production. And fortunately, this film has made it to the New Visions Film Festival in Brazil, where it was selected, and our actress, our very own Charmaine Mujeri, won the award for Best Actress at that festival. We're really proud to be aligned with the National Arts Council's film strategy.
This achievement is a testament to the growing talent and potential in Zimbabwe's film industry, with the National Arts Council of Zimbabwe's strategy aimed at promoting local production and international collaborations. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News.
Here with you. I'm going to be there.
Congratulations there to Charmaine for making us proud and putting the country on the map. It's now time to cross to our sports corner with Anashe Mrombezi to give us the latest to what's happening in the world of sport. Anashe, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Joyce. Zimbabwe is set to walk in uncharted lanes as the Warriors compete on two different fronts at the same time.
The Warriors will bet on two fronts as one team is in Morocco, ready to take on Burkina Faso and Niger in international friendlies starting this Wednesday. On the same day, another set of Warriors, mainly comprising youngsters, will also be battling at the 2025 COSAFA Cup, where they are set to face Mauritius this Wednesday. The Warriors are using the friendlies in Morocco to prepare for the Africa Cup of Nations set for December and the World Cup qualifiers later this year.
We need to assemble very quick and get a certain harmony, but we want to also give as many players as possible game time in these two friendlies. We cannot say in advance who and which, but of course we want to give as many players as possible game time.
The younger squad in South Africa for the COSAFA Cup is being earmarked for the 2028 Olympic qualifiers, which start next year. The squad has young players like Nathan Mtasa of Scotland, who replaced the Dynamo's midfielder Fusangwenya, who did not have a passport. Finland-based midfielder Prosper Padera and winger Matthew Stewart of Highlanders. Lawrence Trusira, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe football star Jordan Zemura has plowed back to his rural home after funding the installation of a solar-powered borehole at a school in Murewa.
Water challenges are now a thing of the past at Gumbanjera Secondary School after the Jordan Zemura Foundation donated a solar-powered borehole. Mashonaland East Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Itai Ndudzo, commended the Warriors star for the initiative.
Jordan Zemura arangarira kuti kumusha ikoko kune chikoro chinofunda mhuri dzakawanda. Jordan Zemura arangarira chikoro ichocho kuzadzikisa shuviro yemutungamiri wenyika yedu kuti kana paine nyaya dzebudiriro hakuna nzvimbo kana munhu anofanira kusara.
Representing Mashonaland East Provincial Education Director, the Director Finance, Administration, Human Resources and Discipline in her office, Mr. John Chikohomero, and Legislator Honorable Lillian Zemura expressed gratitude to the international football star.
Your contribution will have a lasting impact on the lives of our students, enabling them to focus on their studies and reach their full potential.
Honorable Minister, ndinoda kukutendai nekuuya kwamaita. Matopa vana vangu manyukunyuku. Kana bhazi rechikoro richauya pano, vana vangu vachashanda zvakaomarara kusimudzira chikoro chino.
Tikufara takati nedambudziko rakakurisa zvakanyanya panyaya yemvura. Vana vechikoro vaifamba long distance vachienda kunotsvaga mvura, but nhasi tiri kuti Jordan atiitira zvakanaka.
Jordan Zemura, who plies his trade in Italy, playing for Serie A side Udinese, said his foundation will continue to assist communities in his home area.
As for me to donate to this school, it's only the beginning. I can only say the inspiration is it's my blood, you know, it's inside. It's not just because the school needs help. I think it's because for me it's my own body speaking to myself. It's my own family line telling me that this is something I have to do, and this is only the beginning.
Apart from painting classroom blocks at the school, the foundation is also sponsoring a soccer tournament in Murewa district.
Former Premier Soccer League sides Wange and Bulawayo Chiefs have brought a new dimension in the Southern Region Division 1 League as they are currently involved in a neck and tie tussle for promotion.
After 8 rounds of matches, 2 former Premier Soccer League sides, Bulawayo Chiefs and Wange, are involved in a fierce battle for promotion and currently have the same number of points. 2 sides are on 19 points and separated by goal difference, setting the stage for a photo finish. Last season, promotion into the top flight was sealed with games to spare in the 3 regions, while in the Northern Region, the race was sealed at the 11th hour. Southern Region Chairperson Lloyd Munanga believes the league is headed for interesting times.
I want to say so far our competition is very high. Obviously, because we've had 3 teams coming back from the Premier League and they've brought some competition. We've got the former Premier League, Wange and Bulawayo Chiefs right at the top. Obviously, we've got a new entrant in the form of Bulawayo Warriors and also the perennial campaigners, Case Mine.
A new entrant, Bulawayo Warriors, on 14 points, 1 adrift of another former Premier Soccer League side, Bulawayo City, are also within striking distance. Competition has put a shadow on ambitious sides like Talent Vision and Kesmine. Mtokozi Stube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The National Athletics Association of Zimbabwe is set to host an intense competition as the country's finest athletes gather at White City Stadium in Bulawayo for the 2025 Interprovincial Athletics Championships this Saturday.
Our athletes to get a lot of support and a lot of people eyeing for them for scholarship. We have done this before and we've seen it very useful that our athletes will get support and make sure that they are identified by these scouts and get a scholarship.
That states. That's it from the Sports Corner. Guys, it's back to you.
Well, many thanks there to Anna Shemrombedzi for giving us that detailed sports update. And it is our Warriors that are going to hunt tomorrow. We wish them all the best.
Absolutely. We continue to say, go Warriors, go, right?
Go Warriors, go. And, well, the sport putting a cap on tonight's main news. But before we go, we give you a rundown of stories that made the headlines. The government has strengthened measures to boost availability of locally produced medicines.
The courts of Bluffville Pitbull Dog's owner was remanded in custody on culpable homicide charges.
In the arts, a local actress gets an award for being the best actress at a festival in Brazil.
In sports, the Warriors will be competing on 2 different fronts at the same time this Wednesday.
Well, that's the main news for this evening. From all of us here, it is good night.
Good night.
that tomorrow is brighter than yesterday.
Ruzhinji rwaramba, Zimbabwe yaramba, Zimbabwe yaramba, Zimbabwe yaramba. Police the police, guard the guard, chair the chair.
Welcome to our